Hello all, I'm Shahida Khatun, founder of Soulful Life, a platform dedicated for students' well-being. And today I have with me is Paromita Shaha. She's a parenting consultant and she's also a blogger and writer. She writes very well. She writes regularly in Chokhet Tara Tui, a section for parents in Bengali newspaper, A Shomai. She has a Facebook page called Yummy Mummy. And Parmita, you can better introduce yourself. Uh, how do you
Yes,
do the parenting consultant? How do you interact with parents? You can throw some lights on that.
yes. See, parenting, being a parenting consultant was something which came naturally to me because this thing, I'm very passionate about the entire thing about parenting. And since the time I became a mother, and as I'm nurturing the kid for the last 4 years, it's become a passion. And I think there is no course or there's no material one can get for parenting. So I, as a passionate mother, as a passionate parent, I try to share my ideas, my views and tips for to be parents and already who are parents, so that their life becomes a bit easy, because parenting is no more what it used to be when we were children. And with the pandemic coming in, it is going to be harder all the way more. So that's how I started off with writing small blogs, small write-ups, and then took it as a profession, wherein I work as a parenting consultant, as a parenting coach, and I help parents who have queries related to various issues on parenting. And that's how I grow and help them grow as parents, as a mother and a father in the process.
Okay, so yes, right now we are going through a very tough situation. I think every parents are very stressed, very anxious about the upcoming future. We are very uncertain. I'm also mother of two kids. I am very uncertain about the future, when their schools will reopen, what will be our economic condition of the whole nation. So if parents are stressed, that repercussion will be shown on that children, right?
Children,
So
right.
what's your suggestion to distress ourselves first? Like we need to first take some break and relax. So what's your suggestion on that?
This is a very difficult time. Nobody from our generation or the previous generation has, experienced this. So we don't even have tips from our parents to, which they can share with us, that, this is how you handle a kid during these times. It's a new thing for all of us, and we need to work on it. And, this the very thought of this COVID-19 always lingers in our mind. Even if we don't try to think of it, it is there. It's like lurking around us 24/7. So that needs to be taken care first. Like, as parents, as individuals, I think we need to come out of that fear, of that anxiety, anxiousness, and then only can we pass it on to our kids. And kids of all age group I'm talking about, not only toddlers or teenagers, but kids of all age. Even we are kids to our parents. So
Yes.
as parents, they are also thinking at the moment that how they can console us. So I think as parents, we need to first de-stress us, and we need to take care of ourselves, which is very important during this time. And we need to find opportunities, to break out of this of these worries or tensions which keep coming back to us on and on. So I think we should follow a regular routine or a schedule, a pattern, so that we are locked now. We are isolated within the four walls of our houses. So I think that's very important that we wake up early. Like, just because we don't have office or we don't have schools doesn't mean you sleep late. I think you should wake up early, you and your spouse. Let the kids sleep over for a longer time, longer period, and we both spend time with each other uh, in the early. time of the morning. Maybe they exercise regularly together, listen to some good positive music, and most important thing is talking with each other. I think the one of the better side effects of this coronavirus is we've got ample time for each other, which a couple must be complaining before, that we don't get time for each other, we don't have time to talk, we don't have time to interact. So I think this is the time when we can work on those things, and we talk to each other. And when two individuals talk and share their feelings, anxiety, tensions, I think that in itself is a big way to de-stress yourself, for
Yes,
both
yes.
individuals, for both the parents.
It's a
And
time to
that
build a relationship actually, cultivate the
exactly.
relation between
Yes.
all.
Right. So, just, making tea, drinking tea or coffee together, sipping tea and coffee and chit chatting. Then one of you, make a breakfast. Someday your husband makes a breakfast, you make a breakfast, you try out new ways of, experimenting with food. That can be a way, of in both interaction and de-stressing. Then if you have common interests like watching films or watching series, these days there is a lot of content available online, so you try, keep the kids engaged somewhere with some kind of activity, and then you distress yourself. As mothers, we have the kids to look after, we have the household chores to look after, we have the husbands to look after, so it is a lot of responsibility on us. So there are times, you have to steal time for yourself. You just have to steal time, you just find time for yourself. That should be your me time, when you dedicate only to yourself, which you dedicate only
Yes.
to yourself.
Like chatting with
And
other mothers can be also same.
yeah, chatting with, catching up with friends. These days, I am myself, what I am doing is I am searching my contacts and, getting in touch with friends or relatives with whom I haven't spoken in years. So this can be a great way of,
Yeah, it's
sharing
time to actually let them know you care for them too. You like feel
them
for them.
also. Yes,
They are safe.
yes,
Are they safe? Or
yeah,
yes, wish them as
right.
like stay
And
safe. Stay.
yes, and it makes a huge impact, on your relationship. You also feel good, there are people, and today the entire world is in the same platform. So whoever is in USA, whoever is in Australia, we all are sailing in the same boat, and we can, empathize with each other. So that's a great way of communication to de-stress yourself. And I think there are many of us who used to say that, I don't get time to pursue my hobby, I don't get that much of me time. So I think this is an excellent time to pursue your hobby, to do something online, or just enjoy yourself with some curricular activities. Also, de-stressing can be with the kids also, playing with them, doing art and craft with them, maybe just dancing with them. These are all things which we can do to de-stress. Some people like reading, so reading can be
Yes.
your thing to de-stress yourself. So I think
So
different kind of hobbies which
yes.
we always
So
used to
Paromita,
complain of.
yeah.
Yeah,
So another thing is like we probably were overlooking is we are all like we are taking care of some measures for students for our childs actually physical safety like wash your hands. We are talking about
right.
social distancing. But in that lockdown situation, they are also going through kind of emotional trauma. Like they are not meeting friends. Like there's a sudden
Oh
change in their
yes,
regular routine,
regular routine,
regular
right.
lifestyles also like they are not getting the some dishes favorite dishes they want to eat they like to eat
Yeah.
sometimes yeah there because we have limited resources in our home. So how what kind of conversation as a parent we should do with our children to check if they are emotionally safe or validate their emotional state actually.
Yeah, see, there's no guidebook for it. Like, this is something totally new. We can't get any guidebook or any reference material to uh, guide our children through this moment of, where we all are emotionally, vulnerable at this stage. And the kids are more, even more, though they don't understand what the entire thing is about, but somewhere they have a feeling that, there's something wrong, because of which they are not being able to step out of the house or go to play with their friends or whatever. So I think as parents, I'll give you an example from my flying days. I used to be a cabin crew, um, and I faced turbulence a couple of times. We have faced emergency on during our flight, and during such times we have seen passengers panicking because you're in mid air and you don't know what is going to happen next. So that is the time when the pilot took hold of the entire thing. So I think at this moment we are like that pilot.
Yes.
No, everything around is going wrong, haywire here and there, and even he doesn't have control. He also doesn't know when the turbulence will end or when the technical snag will end. Maybe we land up in a crash landing, but still, that voice of the pilot over the microphone saying that we are, please put on your seat belt, stay in your seat, and we are looking after the safety of our passengers, so please be calm. I think we as parents, we should do the same thing with our kids. We should not show the panic which we are going through or the stress we are going through in front of them. And this is called setting the emotional tone, entire
Yes.
process where you try to bring down the level of stress or trauma, because the kids are actually going through trauma these days, though they are not able to say. The younger ones I am talking about, the teenagers or the older ones, I'm sure they are discussing with their parents, but the younger ones, they are not able to talk so much or understand. So I think, amid this uncertainty, parents have to be in charge. We have to acknowledge and validate the kids' thoughts and their, answer their queries. They have different kinds of queries on this coronavirus or the COVID thing. So I don't think avoiding those questions is a solution. We should, acknowledge them and try to explain them in their way, pertaining to their age group. You can't tell a toddler the impact it is making on the world. You can have your own way of setting a limit to what you are saying to a toddler. Then it goes like that. So, I'll give you an example where last night my daughter was saying that, she was having a video chat with her grandparents, and out of the blues, she said, the government of India has told that this is entirely her vision. Nothing has been fed by me. So she was telling her grandparents that, government of India has ordered that people with family cannot die. They cannot go to heaven because of coronavirus. My parents, we were all in a state of shock that, oh my God, a 4-year-old kid is telling all this out of her imagination. So that was a moment when we realized the impact this whole thing is having on her. Not that she, listens to news or we discuss so much in front of her, but somewhere these kids pick up things and
Somewhere she is picking up actually, and then of
yes,
course
yes,
tweeted with little
yeah,
bit of imagination and
right, yes, yes, yes.
but it
So
was really really a good excellent example from your own experience, that pilot,
yeah,
like how the pilot guides the passengers even
yes, yes,
going
yes,
through
yes,
turbulence. That's how we
yeah.
should also guide our kids as
Yeah,
well.
we should be the parent should be the pilot who knows how to calm down the kids and their anxiety and tensions, and you just cannot show them that things are falling apart or things are not in place. We just need to tell them that there's some problem, yes, obviously, but we can deal with it, and we need
Yes.
to stay calm. We need to, for that, to deal with the problem, we have to explain them that these are the reasons you are staying at home, or you're not meeting your friends, or you're not being able to go to school. I think then they will understand, and that would help them emotionally.
And yes, as you said, like in future we don't know what would be the future, but what we are actually assuming that the normalcy, that pre-COVID normalcy will never come. So we must be
Yeah,
prepared to live a life with limited resource. We must learn to
most
be minimalist. So how can we
right,
prepare our kids to, especially for a teenager? Parents may face problem because they have a lifestyle, right?
right, right, right.
So how we
Yeah,
can
I
prepare?
See, this pandemic is going to have a profound psychological effect on people of all age groups, starting from a toddler of a 3-year-old, 4-year-old to a senior citizen. And it is how we are adapting to this entire thing. Like, I feel that now life will be, if you say BC means it's not before Christ, but life before COVID, life
Yes.
before coronavirus. So,
BC
and
before COVID.
yeah, and after COVID. So, like that. So, the normal which we lived all these years is no more going to be normal. Like tomorrow, even everything becomes normal, there'll be certain amount of fear in within us. And anywhere we go, first thing we will look is for hygiene, for the hygiene, the sanitization of that place. We will avoid crowds. We will avoid meeting in big groups. So these are the small things, but I'm sure this is going to impact us in a big way. So this can all this will help in adapting changes across the world, and that's how we should teach our children the positive way of preventive measures which they can take henceforth. And this is the opportunity to model for the children's problem solution, help them in finding solution to different kinds of problems, of being flexible, of being compassionate, because no kid before this has faced social isolation. No kid before this phase has experienced of not even going down to play with their
Yes.
friends. Like, we as children, we could never think of this until yesterday. Also, no one thought of it, but it's become a normal thing for us now. So this is the new normal, and that is how you should teach children. And I think one of the most important things as parents we should teach our children is exercising, being strong, healthy, valuing the family system, and then make them learn different types of organizational skills of handling emergency. Like, right now money doesn't matter. You might be rich, you might be a middle class, you might be poor, but end of the day everyone has got their limitations now. Even if you have money, you can't have the luxurious food you want to, you can't step out. Even the basics at times, like our area is in the containment zone right now in Mumbai, so we can't step out anytime and every time. There are times, my kid likes bread, so we have had bread only yesterday after 2 weeks. So now the bread, a basic food like bread, has become precious. So this can be a lesson for us to teach the kids that don't take things for granted. Everything comes with a price. And also we should teach them that, like, handshakes and hugs used to be very normal things. I think as elders also, and for the kids also, we should teach them that handshaking, hugging, to keep away from all those things right now with so much of virus here and there. And then, as I told you before also, building on the immunity for of the kids. They should know the importance of a balanced diet, of exercising, enough sleep, and all the emotional part of being a good human being. I think they should be made aware of honesty, of being simple, of being helpful. These are few things I think these are going to be the new normal, where the kids will become
Yes.
more empathetic and compassionate because they are understanding, the limitations, the uh, what to say, the struggle they are struggling within. They're not being able to meet their friends, they're not being able to go to school. So this is a big trauma for them, though they might not say it often, but you can feel them. So this is a way that they should be taught that whatever you are getting, you should be thankful for that and never take things for granted. So that way I think these can be the lessons, life lessons we can teach the kids.
Okay, thank you, Paromita. I just want to end the discussion with some positive notes. Like, I just want to, like, there is some brighter sides of that lockdown.
Mhm.
For me, that
Yes.
the nature is healing. Like, I can see less pollution, you know,
Yes.
So how we can divert our mind as well as our kids' mind to those brighter side during this lockdown pandemic?
See, it's already happening around. Like in our area, we have never seen like there are residents who have been in this society for the last 40 years, and they have never seen a monkey coming and jumping around in the premises. It happened the other day. A monkey, all of a sudden, a monkey comes in and it's hanging around, it's jumping from tree to tree, and all the kids, trapped inside their houses, trapped inside their flats, are cheering up and all. So we are seeing how nature is responding. There are, early morning we can hear the koel singing, which we could never hear before. So nature is actually healing. That is one brighter side. The kids are getting that. The other day my kid heard cricket chirping at night, and she's like, what is that sound, ma? I've never heard that before. So I had to explain that, this is also an insect which exists, and as children we used to hear this, but since you live in a city which is so busy, maybe these insects never had the guts to come out all these years. Now they are coming out. So that is a great way of, making them respect environment and making them live the organic way. I think organic way of living is one of the brighter side of this
Yes,
lockdown.
yes,
Not eat your pizzas or your regular burgers, not going to the malls, or eating your popcorns. Kids are learning to eat the basic dal, chawal, rice
yes.
and dal,
Basically, we are learning to
little bit of
live, not
sabji.
to maintain a lifestyle. We are learning to
Exactly.
live
We are back
actually.
to basics.
Uh,
Yeah, we are getting back to basics, and the kids are learning that happiness is not always with the materialistic pleasures or
yes,
the expensive toys, expensive branded clothes, or anything. Happiness is found within, and it's the family. So it's a great way. That is the brighter side. They're learning not to waste food. Like
yes,
uh, I can give you an example where earlier when I used to make rotis, my daughter used to take a small piece of that dough so that she can play with, make toys out of it. But right now I have made her understand that, even that little dough, there are people who are not getting that. So you cannot waste that. So you be thankful that you're getting your roti whenever you want. So now she has understood that, and she's like, okay, ma, I will not waste. I think that's a good way to teach them, and not to, there are teenagers who were into binge eating, burgers, pizzas, cold drinks. I know I have a student who lives on cold drinks. Like she'll hide from her parents, go outside and buy cold drink, and she would drink. So now there's no option. So this binge eating I think has been controlled, and the obesity rate, which was very high among the teenagers in India, which was increasing, I think that has also, the children must be learning from this experience. The youngsters,
so
these are the
yes,
side. The youngsters, I'm sure the kids in their 20s, early 20s, they would hardly spend time at home previously. I know of friends who had such kids, and they used to say, खाली घर पे खाने के लिए और सोने के लिए मेरा बच्चा आता है. They don't even talk. So now what they are doing, now they're playing with parents, they are chatting with grandparents, parents. So these are all the brighter side of this lockdown. Families are coming in together once again, whichever part of the world we are in.
yes.
So these are the
So like
brighter
we
sides,
can say like our world is also like when you are with around dear ones, you create a
Right.
world, right? When dear
Exactly.
ones are around us, so we
Around
are
us,
happy
right.
with that smaller world. So
Exactly.
we're creating a
We don't have to step out to find
yes.
happiness. It's
We're happy
inside
with
these four walls. That's what. It's inside these four walls. And lockdown has, I think, is a great parenting opportunity for all parents, and whoever had complaints. It's a great time to, mend ways, and
it's a
it has
great
an
time to
opportunity
spend some
to,
quality time,
yeah,
and
time with
especially
the kids
when
and
both the
family.
parents were working and they,
Working.
they had hardly times for kids.
Right.
Right now they are
Right.
helping each other for household chores and
Yes.
preparing meals
Yes.
together, and that's that
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
like trying to be self-dependent. We are living, so
Right. So
we are
life
taking
without maids.
mm.
India may no one could think life without maids,
So
but
in
now everything.
that culture was never in India, but we are
Yeah.
learning on.
Yeah. So something, we've given the namaste. Now no one does, handshaking. We've given namaste to the world, and we have brought in, no mate concept in
Yes,
India.
like self
So
independent concept from the
yeah, yeah,
other
from the
developed
Western
countries.
countries. Yeah,
Especially I
that
used to say
we've given.
that
Yeah,
developed countries developed country because their man also know the life skills. They learn
exactly.
cooking, they
Yeah.
know cooking. That's why they're developed. And now, yes, probably we are also progressing on that.
Yes, 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 yes. We are seeing men who never entered the kitchen, trying out helping the wives, or out of emotion, out of love, they are trying to, get into the kitchen and helping, making something new for the family. So these are the brighter side of this lockdown pandemic,
Thank
which
you.
is
Thanks a lot.
hitting
It
us.
is like I learned a
Thank
lot.
you.
I believe all the parents will learn a lot. I will share it.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your
Great
time.
talking to you, Shahida. Thank you so much. Thank you.